All right, so welcome back to another deep dive. Today we're diving into the world of hobbies.
That was fun.
Yeah, and we've got this really interesting podcast episode all about why they're way more than just something to do in your spare time.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I know I get so caught up with work and just, life that I sometimes forget to even think about what I actually enjoy doing.
I hear that.
So I'm really hoping this deep dive will help us uncover, the real power of hobbies.
Yeah, thank you.
So what's interesting is we always, I think of hobbies as kind of like, oh, it's just something to do for fun. But from what I've been reading, they actually play a crucial role in our well-being.
Absolutely. And, it's not just anecdotal, right? There's a ton of research that shows that they're incredibly important for both our mental and physical health.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that, when I actually make time for my hobbies, I feel so much better,
Right.
less stressed, more energized,
But
recharging.
It is. It's like hitting the reset button.
Totally. And this episode actually mentions some scientific benefits that really back that up. What were some of the things that, stood out to you from the research?
Well, I think one of those compelling points was the link between hobbies and dopamine.
Oh, yeah.
That neurotransmitter that's like the pleasure and reward chemical.
Right.
So when we're doing something that we enjoy, our brains release dopamine and it makes us feel good.
Mm-hmm.
But it also reinforces that behavior, right?
Yeah.
So we're more likely to go back and do it again.
Like a positive feedback loop?
Exactly. It's a positive feedback loop.
I love that.
It's like hobbies are literally training our brains to seek out joy.
And it's not just a fleeting moment of happiness?
No, it's a cycle.
It's a cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're motivated. You want to do more of it.
And I know personally when I'm feeling stressed or down,
Yeah.
spending even just a little time on my hobbies really shifts my mood.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think we all know that feeling intuitively, right?
Yeah.
But it's amazing to see the science behind it.
Right.
And this dopamine boost, it's not just about, surface level happiness. It actually helps our brains be ready to learn and grow.
Really?
Yeah. Which leads us to another huge benefit of hobbies, and that's their impact on neuroplasticity.
Oh, I've heard that word before.
Yes. It basically means that our brains have this incredible ability to change and adapt,
Throughout our lives.
throughout our lives.
Wow.
And hobbies, especially ones that are a little challenging or that teach us new skills, they stimulate that process.
So it's like a brain workout.
It is. It's totally a brain workout.
Oh, I like that.
And the best part is it's fun.
Right.
You're not sitting there, doing brain training games.
Yeah.
You're doing something you love.
Yeah, I remember reading that, learning a new language can actually create
Absolutely.
new neural pathways.
It fires up all these different areas of your brain.
And that it makes sense, right? When you're constantly pushing yourself mentally, you're keeping your brain sharp and adaptable.
You're keeping it young.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And this isn't just about staying sharp as we get older. Neuroplasticity it's involved in everything.
Really?
It's how we learn, how we solve problems.
Yeah.
It's how we deal with stress, how we adapt to change.
I never thought about it like that.
It's pretty powerful stuff.
I mean, does that mean that people who do more hobbies are...
It makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
If they're better able to, handle the ups and downs of life. I think there's definitely a connection because when you're doing things that you enjoy and that challenge you, you're building confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You're building that sense of, hey, I can do this.
Yeah, self-efficacy.
Exactly.
Okay, so far we've got stress reduction.
Mm-hmm.
We've got dopamine boosts, and we've got, brain workouts.
Brain workouts?
Yeah, those are all pretty good reasons to make time for hobbies.
Right.
But this episode also talked about the social benefits.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think gets overlooked a lot.
Absolutely. And it's so important, especially now when, the world is so digitally connected.
Yeah.
It's easy to feel isolated
Totally.
and lonely.
Mm-hmm.
But hobbies offer us a way to connect.
With real people.
With real people.
In real life.
In real life, exactly.
It's true. I joined a book club recently.
Oh, nice.
And it's been amazing how quickly I've, felt close with the other members.
Yeah.
We had these great discussions, and it's so much fun.
And it's not just fun, right? It's a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
It's a sense of community.
It's a sense of community.
And those things are so vital for our well-being.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't feel like another obligation.
Right.
It's something that, I look forward to.
Yeah.
I genuinely want to go.
Exactly. It's not another thing on your to-do list.
Yeah.
It's something that you're actually excited about.
That's a perfect example of how hobbies can actually create that sense of belonging and community, whether it's a sports team, a knitting circle, even like an online gaming group.
Yeah, or a podcasting group.
Right.
There are so many different ways to connect.
Yeah.
And these connections, they can have a huge impact on our lives.
Yeah, there's just something really special about
Finding your people.
Yeah, your tribe, those people who just get you and your weird interests.
Yes, those people who speak your language.
Totally. Even if it's something like
collecting vintage thimbles.
Yeah, exactly.
Building miniature train sets.
Whatever it is.
There's a community out there for you.
That's cool.
And those shared experiences, right? Whether it's cheering on your favorite team or working together on a creative project, they can really create lasting bonds.
Okay, so you're saying that even for people who have trouble making friends, or they have social anxiety, could hobbies be a way for them to...
Oh, I think that's a brilliant point.
Okay.
I think hobbies can be a great way to ease into social situations.
Okay.
Because you already have that common ground.
Right.
It takes the pressure off.
Totally. So it's not like, walking into a party where you don't know anybody.
Right. You're not starting from scratch.
Yeah. You've already got that shared interest to connect over.
Exactly. And as people become more comfortable in that group,
yeah,
they might feel more confident branching out.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So hobbies can be like a stepping stone to a richer social life.
Okay. So we've covered the stress busting, the brain boosting.
Yes.
And the connection building powers of hobbies.
The power of hobbies.
Yeah, that's a lot. So how does all this, translate to our everyday lives?
That's a great question.
Right.
And it's one that I think a lot of people struggle with, right?
Yeah.
We're so focused on productivity.
Yeah.
On getting things done.
Tangible results.
Tangible results, exactly. That we forget the importance of activities that just bring us joy and fulfillment.
Right.
But the truth is, those things, they have a huge impact on our lives.
Okay, so it's like investing in our well-being.
Yes.
Which then pays off in other areas of our lives.
Exactly. Like when we feel good,
we're
more likely to make good decisions.
Okay.
We're better at handling challenges.
Great.
We can build stronger relationships.
I see, yeah.
It's all connected.
So it's almost like a secret weapon for a more fulfilling life.
It might be the most powerful weapon we have.
Okay.
It's not just about checking things off a list.
Yeah.
It's about creating a life that we actually enjoy living.
Yeah, it's like actively creating your own happiness.
Yes, and giving yourself permission to enjoy life, to pursue those passions, to embrace the things that make you
your inner geek.
Your inner geek, exactly.
Yeah.
And who knows?
Right.
Maybe in the process, you'll discover some hidden talent. Maybe you'll make some incredible new friends.
Or even a new career.
Or a new career, exactly. The possibilities are endless.
So it's all about exploring.
It's all about exploring.
Okay, so we've definitely established that hobbies are more than just fun and games. They're essential for our mental, emotional, and social well-being.
Our overall well-being.
Yeah, but what about people who say they just don't have time.
I hear that a lot.
Like, life gets so busy.
It does.
How do you convince someone that it's worth?
That's a really valid point.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to acknowledge that everyone's situation is different.
Okay.
But, I would argue that even small pockets of time dedicated to a hobby can make a world of difference.
So it's not about having like hours and hours of free time. It's about being intentional.
It's about being intentional with the time that you do have.
Right.
Even 15 minutes a day.
Okay.
Reading, knitting, playing an instrument.
Yeah.
It can be such a powerful reset, a way to de-stress.
So like little drops of water make a mighty ocean.
Exactly.
Okay.
You don't have to become a master anything overnight.
Right. It's just about those small steps.
Small steps, consistency, and enjoying the process.
And who knows, as you start to see the benefits, you might find yourself naturally making more time for the things that bring you joy.
It becomes a virtuous cycle.
Okay, I love that.
You start feeling better, so you want to do more.
Yeah.
And then you feel even better.
And it just keeps going.
It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so it's really about starting small, being consistent, and letting yourself be guided by
your own curiosity.
Your own curiosity and enjoyment.
And enjoyment, exactly.
So true.
Don't force it.
Yeah, it's about embracing the process.
The journey is the destination.
The journey is the destination. Love that.
Corny, but true.
But true. All right, so we've talked about the benefits, the different categories, how to choose one, but I think it would be helpful to dive a little deeper. Yeah, let's do it.
Into these different types of hobbies.
Okay.
And how they can, really enrich our lives in unique ways.
Sounds good to me. Let's get specific.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so where do we even begin?
Right.
There's so many options.
There are?
The podcast we're looking at today, actually, it broke down hobbies into different categories.
Okay.
Which I thought was helpful.
Yeah, I agree. I think categories can be really useful, especially when you're first starting to explore something new.
Totally. It gives you like a framework,
Yeah, exactly. It helps you make sense of all the different options.
Okay, so let's start with what they called physical hobbies.
Okay.
Which is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's anything that gets you moving, right?
Yeah, like sports, hiking, dancing.
And gardening.
Oh, yeah, gardening, even just going for walks, right?
Totally.
It's all about being active.
And I think it's important to remember that, physical hobbies aren't just good for our bodies.
Yeah, there's a ton of research that shows they're also great for our minds.
Like for our brains.
Yeah, like for example, exercise has been shown to improve memory and cognitive function.
So it's not just about being physically fit.
It's about being mentally fit, too.
Makes sense. I mean, I know I always feel more clear-headed after a good workout.
Right. It's like you've cleared out the cobwebs.
Totally. It's like a mental reset.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's physical hobbies. What about creative hobbies?
Oh, that's a fun one.
I'll be honest, when I hear creative hobbies, I think of like those people who can just like whip up a masterpiece.
Right. The super talented artists and musicians.
Yeah. I'm definitely more of a stick figure kind of artist.
Well, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Because creator hobbies, they're not about being the best.
Okay.
It's really about the process of creating.
Okay.
It's about expressing yourself.
Okay.
Whether it's through painting, writing, sculpting, playing music, whatever brings you joy.
Okay. So it's not about like comparing yourself to others.
No, not at all.
It's just about that act of creating.
Exactly. And, you might surprise yourself.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe you'll discover a hidden talent you never knew you had.
Okay. I like that.
Or maybe you'll just have fun making a mess and letting your imagination run wild.
That's a good point. It's about, like, giving yourself permission to be a kid again, right?
Exactly.
Like, experiment, explore, have fun.
I love that.
Okay, so creative hobbies, check.
What's next?
Let's see. We've got social hobbies.
Ah, yes. the importance of connection.
So this is all about, well,
Socializing, joining clubs, volunteering, attending events.
even just like hanging out with friends.
Yeah, having a regular game night.
This one really emphasizes how important
Human connection.
human connection is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that when I'm feeling lonely, making an effort to connect with others, even just for a little bit, makes a big difference.
It does. It's amazing how even just a little bit of social interaction can boost our mood.
Totally. And I feel like social hobbies give you that natural structure for connecting.
They do. They give you something to bond over.
Yeah, it's like you already have that common ground.
Exactly. You're not starting from scratch.
All right.
You have a shared interest to talk about.
Okay, so you're not like trying to force a conversation.
Right. It just flows naturally.
Yeah, and as you get to know people better, those connections can actually grow beyond just the hobby.
Absolutely.
It's like you might start going to movies together or
grabbing coffee.
Or even just like
texting each other funny memes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a ripple effect.
It's like when you make friends in college.
Yeah.
Like, you bond over study.
Or extracurricular activities.
Yeah, and then you become actual friends.
Exactly, and those friendships can last a lifetime.
So, social hobbies, they're not just about
filling our time.
They're about
investing in our relationships. Building that support system.
That's a good point. Okay, so we've got physical, creative, social.
Let's see what's next. Oh, intellectual hobbies.
That sounds a little intimidating.
I know, right? But it's not as scary as it sounds.
Okay, so it's not about being like a genius or something.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's really just about engaging your mind.
Okay.
Expanding your knowledge.
Okay.
And challenging yourself mentally.
So what kind of things are we talking about here?
Well, it could be reading, learning a new language, taking online courses, solving puzzles, even just having deep conversations with friends.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be like a solitary thing.
No, not at all.
Okay.
You can definitely do intellectual hobbies with other people.
Like that book club I mentioned.
Exactly. That's a perfect example.
Yeah, it's not just about like reading the book.
Right. It's about discussing it.
Yeah.
Analyzing it.
Sharing different perspectives.
Exactly.
Okay, and those conversations can be really stimulating.
They can really make you think.
Yeah, and I love that feeling of like learning something new and suddenly you're like, wow, I never knew that.
Right, and then you want to learn more.
Yeah, it opens up a whole new world.
And that's the beauty of intellectual hobbies. They can spark that lifelong love of learning.
Okay, and keep our brains active as we get older.
Exactly, which is so important for, staying sharp and preventing cognitive decline.
It's like a workout for your brain.
It is. It's like a mental gym.
Okay, I like that. So it's not just about acquiring knowledge. It's about like
maintaining brain health. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got physical, creative, social, intellectual.
What's the last one?
Collecting.
Collecting, yes.
Which, to be honest, I kind of associate with like dusty old antique shops.
Right, people collecting stamps and coins.
Yeah, but it can be so much more than that.
It can. It really can.
Okay, so what kinds of things can people collect?
Well, I mean, anything that interests you, really. Okay. It could be vintage vinyl records, comic books, rare plants, antique toys, first edition books.
Okay, so it's like becoming an expert in your own little niche.
Exactly. You're not just accumulating things, you're learning about them.
Okay.
You're researching them.
Yeah.
You're connecting with other collectors.
Okay, so it can have that social element, too.
It can, absolutely.
I like that.
It's like joining a secret society.
Oh, that's cool.
Of like-minded individuals.
You got your own little club.
Yeah, where everyone gets excited about the same obscure things.
I love that. All right, so
we've got physical, creative, social, intellectual, and collecting.
That's quite a range.
It is. It's amazing how many different ways there are to express ourselves and engage with the world.
Yeah, it seems like there really is something for everyone.
There is. And that's what's so great about hobbies.
So now we've explored these categories, but I'm curious, how do we actually go about choosing a hobby?
Right. I mean, there's so many options.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming. It really is. It's like, how do you narrow it down?
Right.
Find something that's actually a good fit.
I think the first step is to think about, like, what are you curious about?
Okay.
What are you naturally drawn to? Maybe there's something you've always wanted to try,
Yeah.
but haven't had the time. Or, maybe you were a little scared too.
Totally. It's like sometimes we get so stuck in our routines that we forget to even ask ourselves, like,
what we actually want to do.
what sparks our interest. Yeah.
It's like our inner child gets lost somewhere along the way.
Yeah. We're too busy adulting.
Exactly. Too busy adulting. But I think reconnecting with that inner child is key.
Okay.
It's about remembering what brought you joy, what made you excited.
Okay, so it's not about just picking something that sounds, cool
No.
or trendy.
It has to light you up inside.
It has to excite you.
Yeah, it has to be something that you're genuinely passionate about.
And that passion can come from different places, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like it could be the challenge of learning something new or the satisfaction of creating something or even just like connecting with others.
The joy of connection.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
What about the practical side of things, though? Like, how do you factor in time, budget, accessibility?
Those are all really important considerations.
Yeah.
And I think it's about finding that balance, right?
Okay.
Between what you're passionate about
Mm-hmm.
and what's actually realistic for your life right now.
Okay. That makes sense.
So if you're short on time, maybe you start with something you can do in small chunks.
Yeah, like knitting or drawing.
Exactly. Or if you're on a tight budget, there are tons of free or low-cost options.
Right. Like hiking or reading or volunteering.
Volunteer, yeah. And if you have mobility issues, there are adaptive versions of a lot of hobbies.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's like you're creating a personalized hobby plan. I like that, a personalized hobby plan.
Taking into account your own needs and limitations.
And the best part is it can evolve over time.
Oh, that's good.
It doesn't have to be set in stone.
So you're not like stuck with one hobby forever.
Nope. You can try different things, see what sticks.
It's like dating for hobbies.
I love that. Dating for hobbies.
Go on a few first dates.
See who you click with.
Maybe you find the one, or maybe you realize you're a hobby polygamist.
Exactly. Embrace your inner hobby butterfly.
Okay, I love that. So what about people who are feeling stuck?
Okay.
They know they want a hobby.
Yeah.
But they just can't seem to
Get started.
Yeah, get started.
I think the biggest thing is to be patient with yourself.
Okay.
It's a process. And it might take a little time.
Okay.
Just start by paying attention to what piques your interest.
Yeah, like what catches your eye.
Yeah. What do you find yourself gravitating towards?
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask for recommendations from friends or family.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You might be surprised by what they suggest.
Yeah. Sometimes the best way to get started is to just
Jump in.
jump in.
Try something.
Yeah.
Sign up for a class, join a club, check out a book from the library.
Just dip your toes in.
Exactly.
See how it feels.
Don't overthink it.
It's like that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
I love that.
You don't have to have it all figured out.
No.
Just start walking.
And see where the path takes you.
I like that. And remember,
Yes.
the most important thing is to enjoy the process.
It's all about having fun.
Hobbies are supposed to be fun.
Exactly. If you're not enjoying yourself, try something else.
It's your free time. You get to choose how you spend it.
Make it count.
Make it count. Choose something that brings you joy, that challenges you, that connects you with others.
And that makes you feel alive.
I think that's a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of hobbies.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring.